Hello, hello. Welcome to Adobe Live. I am Phoebe Sherman. I'm the founder of Girl Gang Craft, and I've been an Adobe Express ambassador since 2020, since before we were Adobe Express, back in the Adobe Spark days. Today, we are going to be working on a dynamic animated reel for your Instagram or your TikTok that's going to highlight your products for the summer. So you can go ahead and hit that link to get started with your starter file. It should be in the YouTube and the Behance description. And then that will pull you up to a page right like this in a public library, and you can start a new file. So let's get into it. And if you want to find out more about me, you can follow me on Instagram at Girl Gang Craft. Yay. Okay, so this is our starter file, and this is going to be our starter file for today and 2 Mondays from now. We're going to do carousels then and use this template in the same manner as we're going to use it today. Well, in a different manner than we're going to use it today, but it's the same starter file. So these are in my brand colors, and of course, you can follow along watching how I do things and make things work for your brand. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of my favorite things about Adobe Express is that they have little files and projects and libraries that you can add stuff in for your brand. So um, right away, if you go to files, your Illustrator files pop up. Well, I think it's across the whole Creative Cloud actually. So you can see the little icons in the bottom left. Those are my Adobe Express files that are propagating, but then we also have Adobe Illustrator files. And if you're like a Photoshop person, those would show up here as well. So we are going to build a dynamic animated reel video that you can post on really any platform. So this is going to highlight your product. So I've also made in my libraries, I've just pulled in some of my product photos, and they are all going to just live right there too. And it's kind of like the libraries can be exist as your brand almost too. Like there's a place to put in your color palettes and your fonts and stuff too. So they could be like for a special project or like generally across your brand. So it's really cool to like sort of be able to separate things and have things all exist in one place too. Um, let's see, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, let's hop into it. So, um, I make products. I have a feminist apparel line. And some of it is just sort of fun I do flower power socks, and we have my little flower claw clip. So I've pulled those all into my library so we can utilize them for this project. And I am keeping an eye on the chat. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and say hello or tell me where you are tuning in from or what kind of business you have too. That sort of like gives me the ability to speak to uh, your questions, but also speak to the type of business that you have. So, obviously some of this stuff works for product, which we're talking about today, marketing your product, but you can really make this happen, make an animated reel happen for anything that you're trying to sell or share your art or your services. So, we love the remove background tool. That was nice and easy. I just clicked it to get the socks and shoes and legs on their own with no background. And I'm gonna go ahead and just um, copy the legs, and we'll do something fun like um, effects and a duotone. Maybe we play with the colors later, but and see how like my library propagates right there. I can also pull up my my actual brand, and that'll show my colors right there. So that's cool. Let's see, shadows in my blue. Let's do some highlights in my pink. We could also reverse that and see how that looks. I kind of like that. And then we'll just give a cool shadow situation. So a reminder that we are working on a reel. So we're going to make this move with animations. But so let's play with some text as well. And I found a cool text template that I really liked under here. So let's see what we got here. Under buttons, lots of different like text formats show up for you, so you can scroll through those. We have headlines that are, more for info graphics, dates and periods, fried chicken. I don't know, maybe you just need like some fried chicken on your reel. I love that. Okay, I think it was a speech bubble. Let's see what they got here. Yeah. Oh, we got our $10 bucket still on the screen. It's really funny. Make me delete all of those. So I can go ahead and like lock things, which is always something I like to do, so that they don't move. And so you can like highlight other things on top of it. And I'm just clicking on the 3 little dots and locking. And let's see, we are going to have this say like new for the summer or something. New for the summer. And I can like format that myself. I actually love the suggested font that they picked out for this little speech bubble. So I'm gonna stick with that. Even though it's not necessarily like a brand font of mine, I think it works for this concept. And rules are meant to be broken. So you might have your brand fonts, and then it's okay to switch things up every once in a while for the aesthetic, for the vibe. Okay. And then I like to do the little text layouts, and you could do an arch, you could do dynamic, and then you can try and like format that. I want some exclamation points, I think. New for the summer. And then this is really close to my pink, but it's not the same pink. So I'm gonna go with my dark blue, and then we'll make these little sparkles a different color too, I think. Maybe light pink. I think that's cute. And I'm going to group all of that for now, but maybe when we animate it, we'll ungroup. If we want to do like, actually, I'm going to ungroup this and make it a little bit bigger. And if you're just tuning in, we are working on making reels to highlight our physical products that we sell. What was I doing? I was ungrouping this. Group. Why won't it ungroup? Group. Ungroup. There you go. Okay. Does anyone else just like hum while they work? I don't know. Maybe you have music on. I like talk to myself all the time while I'm designing things. or to my dog. My dog's right here. She's very asleep right now, but she's here with us in spirit, learning learning how to make some branded reels. Okay, I'm gonna add my logo because I think that would be cute and it kind of matches the vibe. And so I've already applied all the logo work to my brand, um, which is so convenient because I can just pull it in. But again, those Illustrator files are really cool. So like I have a million versions of the logo and I think I haven't added them in, but they show up through doo -doo 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 -doo. They show up through my Illustrator files. So that's kind of handy also. Okay, what else we got here? I think we're gonna make the legs a little bigger. Unlock. I'd like to make them bigger at the same time. Oh, that's still locked. Unlock. Come on. Okay. Okay. So I think this is pretty cute. I think I want to make this bigger a little bit also. Okay, and so nothing's animated right now. So we're gonna go ahead and make this animated, and then we'll add some multiple scenes too. So I like to not only just animate like one static image, but have it move through a couple scenes to really to highlight multiple products, to make it more dynamic, to make it longer, to make it more interesting, all of those reasons. So I like to just click edit timeline at the bottom so you can see what you're working with. And Adobe Express automatically makes it 5 seconds. So that's just something to keep in mind too. Each scene will be 5 seconds unless you change it. So we're probably gonna, scoot it to like, 2 or 3 seconds or less even. But we'll see how those animations look first and we'll figure out what we're doing from there. So, couple ways to animate things. You can go ahead and highlight everything and just click. Actually, I don't think you need to highlight everything. You just click animation at the top and you can do it like all at once and it'll automate it for you. Or you can take each individual item, each individual asset, if you will, and animate those individually for like a little bit more control. But it is kind of nice to have the one-click animation option. We love a waterfall. So you could also start with like the one-click animation and then go back in and like emphasize things. And something to keep in mind too is like what idea you're trying to get across, right? Like we're trying to highlight the product. We're trying to highlight, new for the summer. Like that feels to me that needs to be the star of this scene. So I like this. I also think that the socks should come in. So I'm gonna highlight the socks. Actually, maybe the backdrop comes in of the socks first. That can rise and let's see. That can bungee. And then the speech bubble should come like in first, right? Maybe that tumbles in. And then the text can I like a bungee or a pop. And then that's only the in too. So you can also uh, do like control what the animation does once the item is in. And I always like the wiggle. So let's see what that looks like. I didn't play with the timing yet, so let's see what it like automatically does. And that feels good, except the shadow is like really slow. And then it's nifty too. Like if you have a bunch of layers, the layers are all gonna show up on the right-hand side too, so you can just see everything at once and click what you're working with. So what was that animation? That was the rise. And see, the personality is on soft, so we want to make it like faster. You can also make it stronger. You can also make the duration shorter. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I just don't like the shadow. Maybe the shadow doesn't have an animation. Let's see what that looks like. I need something. Let's have it drop too. And then I'm gonna actually move that a little bit to here, so you can play with when each item comes in, which asset comes in, and when it comes in with just sliding this. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks cool to me, and I feel like we've had time to see everything, so I'm gonna shorten that the whole scene to here, and that's like about 3 seconds. And then we're gonna start a new scene. So you can add a blank scene, or you can duplicate by clicking the 3 buttons. And I want all of this good stuff, like the backdrop, but I'm gonna delete all the assets. And we're gonna go to my brand colors and do something a little bit different. Let's see what I did before. Okay, so we're gonna have the background green now. We're gonna do all those little, those are gonna be blue. And then we're gonna highlight my library, my claw clip for this one. Remove background. Edit. Honestly, when I remove background from like any real life image, I adjust the brightness like way up. It just makes it pop a little better, especially if you're using like just color for the background. And I did the opposite the other day. I actually want this to be blue. And this to be green. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip. And the cool thing about this tulip claw clip is it's actually made out of plants. So I definitely want to highlight that. It's not made out of plastic. We love it. Let's see what we got here. Maybe a pink. And maybe the font can be pink. And you can also just like apply your brand, which is a cool option at the top. Okay, I'm gonna apply it and we'll Command Z because I did just do it intentionally, but you can like apply your brand and it'll change it with your brand colors, which is really cool. That's what we were working with, right? This one. Okay. And then let's do the little sparkles in bright green. Tulip hair claw. I think I want that back in white. Okay. So I've been ignoring the chat. I'm sorry. Hello, hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from, y'all, and what you sell, what your business is. Okay. So we're running out of time. So I'm going to add the other scene and then we can go back and animate this one. But just to like see what the whole thing looks like right now. And then it's going to switch. And those scenes are feeling a bit long to me. So I'm going to cut that down. And then we'll just add a transition to, let's see. I love the push one for the slide. The wipe. I'm going to go with push. But I don't like that the claw clip's already there. So I'm just going to adjust that. And you can really play with the timing. And I think like strategically as a business, you want to play with the timing for animations, like to see what you're highlighting. Okay, I'm going to add a blank scene and I'm going to pull in this video. See my messy desktop, but only for a second. Okay. And then, so this is like me demoing the claw clip. And you could keep it like as a full video, but I think I want to play with removing the background and see how it does. I think it needs to upload a little second. Not letting me remove the background. It was last night, so we'll just have to see. I'll do a little refresh. Still not letting me. I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's just because I'm live and like internet speed. Okay, well, we'll go with it. I feel like this Tuscan scene doesn't really match with the bold colors, but that, oh, now it works. Look at, let's see. Remove backdrop, remove background. And then keep in mind, this is still AI. So like you don't have the full capability to, you know, how with like remove background on photos, you can go back in and keep certain things. They don't have that capability with a video yet. So that's just something to keep in mind. While that's doing it, while that's removing backdrop. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, so it's like removing my claw. I wonder if that's because it's green. That's interesting. So I'm gonna just start it where you can see the claw. Okay. And we're gonna do like a fun blue backdrop. And okay. And what are we gonna highlight here? Let's do the tulip hair claw again. And we do have a new spelling feature, y'all. So let's spell something wrong and see how that does. Check spelling. Tulip. Highlight it first. Check spelling. Okay, well, I don't know why that isn't working right now. Check spelling. Oh, wait, we need to toggle it. Found it. Oh, okay, I don't know why that's not working, y'all. I will get back to you on that one. Tulip hair claw. Okay. And let's make that like stand out with green. And then we also just integrated, Adobe Express just also integrated save to Google Drive. So that's really cool too if you're like working with a team or you're working with a client and you want to easily share with them. That's a good system to utilize. Okay, as we wrap up here, let me know if you have any last questions. Reminder that you can find me at Girl Gang Craft. Check us out. We do small business support and we have a podcast, although it's on pause this year. And we have lots of freebies and resources in our feminist clothing line and our, plastic-free tulip hair claws. So, yeah, follow us on the gram. That's the best place to hang out. I'm going to be back here in 2 Mondays from now as well. And we'll be working on carousels instead. And let's just quickly see how this works, how it looks all together. I think that's looking pretty good. And then our sound isn't working right now from the computer, but you can add sound, on platform. But, we do suggest if you are a business to use commercial free music. And you have full access to that in Adobe Express. So that's really cool. The one that propagated for me earlier was like Yankee Doodle, which is funny, y'all. So that's what we've got for you. I would love to see what you make. If you have worked from my starter file, go ahead and post it and tag me at Girl Gang Craft and tag Adobe Live. We would love to see what you make, and you can always ask me any questions through the DMs as well. So thank you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in a couple weeks.